Hi guys, thanks for hitting that thumbnail to watch this video. But before we start the video, I'd like to take the time to please ask you to not forget to hit the like button if you liked the video and leave a comment on what you thought about the video. It only helps me out in the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you can, join the channel. And if you can't really join the channel but you want to say thank you, then hit that super thanks button down below for just a couple bucks or whatever you feel like you want to give. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much, and I hope you enjoy the video. Today we're going to take a look at a subscriber suggested distribution. There are a few of them that are coming up in the week here. And the first one is Trom Jaro. Now, I am aware that one was recently done by Matt over at the Linux Cast. I didn't see it, but I saw it and I thought, what is that? And the next thing you know, a user asked me to review it. So I figured, okay, so I'll take a look at it. And I got to tell you, I'm blown away. Manjaro is a trade-free operating system based on Manjaro Linux. And I'm going to tell you right now that seems to be about the only knock I can give it is that it's based off Manjaro, which in and of itself is not anything bad. It's just that, there's been issues in the past with them having their keys signed and stuff like that. Manjaro also tends to hold back packages before releasing them. That's due to the fact that they want to make sure that they are a stable kind of release, and that's not really a knock either on that. But what it does is, it does limit the actual rolling release aspect of the virtue of that it's Arch based. And so if you're getting an Arch based Linux, you're not really looking for the LTS version so much. I mean, as far as apps and stuff like that, you're mainly wanting the rolling release. That's the part that's so attractive about Linux. So that's where it kind of goes against it's counterintuitive to the philosophy of Arch Linux. So that being said, it's based on Manjaro. But what's interesting is a trade-free operating system, and it took me a minute to figure out what trade-free meant. I was like, trade-free meaning no corporation-backed, anything like that. Well, no, that's not what they're talking about. By trade-free, they mean that it doesn't want anything from you at all. Like, oftentimes when you get a program like a freeware program or something like that, you go to the internet, you got to go to their webpage to download it or, to get the build files or whatever. But during the course of that, you have to register with them and give them your name, your address, email address, whatever. They want something in return. Whether it's information or whether it's money is irrelevant, but it's still something. And that's what this is. They're basically saying that they don't want anything in return from you at all. And they're also saying that, you're not expecting anything from them as well, other than it to be just that, a transparent, 100% free, genuine transaction. That's it. You get from them Trom Jaro, you walk away, and you're both happy. And I got to tell you, from what I've seen in the test drive that I've given it a little bit, they're not off the mark at all. And so this is their home web page here where you can go to. Now, when you go here, you see that it's very minimal too. That's the other thing that's kind of neat, is that it's pretty minimal. I mean, if you can expand it down, and it gives you a little brief history of their layout. So they have a layout switcher, and they also have backgrounds, and then they also have theme switchers that you could use. They've got traditional ones, and then they've got their own one that they've made. And that's kind of what I really want to talk about in this video is how they've paid attention to the little details. But before we get ahead of that, let's, these are the buttons that you go to. So you want to download it, you click on download. And it takes you to their download place where you can download it from trade-free sources, apparently. From Trom files to Trom Drive. Also, you can do it by BitTorrent, WebDoc, archive.org, and you can flash it. If you're, they give you the image writer, they give you the Ventoy, and then they also give you Etcher. So, I mean, it's pretty cool. And they also give you boot and test. They tell you how to boot it and test it out in the bottom there. So I mean, it's pretty succinct and simple in that aspect. When you go to the about section, though, this is the cool part. This is where I kind of wanted to emphasize. So this gives you a little bit of explanation of what Trom is and the movement, which is a trade-free movement. Also, why did they choose to pick Manjaro? Well, indeed, Manjaro can be seen as a trade-free since they do not collect people's data. And that's mainly the reason why they did that, because there's no information, which I don't recall me putting in any information in Arch Linux or Fedora or any of that that's like informational specific, like email address or anything like that, and they don't have any real telemetry put into it. But that being said, I guess they just felt that Manjaro did better than that, and that's the one question that that first line is Manjaro isn't the only trade free one out there. I think pretty much every Linux distribution out there is trade free. There are some that you go to their webpage and you want to download it, but before downloading it, you have to, either donate to them or buy it. But if you put in 0000, then you can still download it, for the cost. So, I mean, I don't know, it's a little ticky tacky. And then here's what exactly did we change. So this is a good read for you too, because they've done a lot. I mean, you look, they've done a lot. They've done a lot. Like, it comes with app image launcher already in it. I do believe it's got the flat packs and the AUR enabled completely in it. I mean, they built their own layout switcher. They which XFCE does have that already. They have not layout, but I mean, sorry, theme switchers. But they also have layouts, so you can change the type of desktop. But I mean, it's just they've done a lot. They paid attention to a lot of detail. Like some of the things they've named, renamed, and stuff like that. And that is here. If you go to, I believe the bottom, you can watch this series of videos here. This goes in the actual creator and maintainer of this distro. One of them has made a series of videos, kind of like Eric Dubois, in explaining what Trom Jaro is. And I highly suggest, if you're really piqued and you're interested in this, check this series of videos out. It's pretty doggone good. So anyhow, that is a look at Trom Jaro and their welcome page and how to get it. Let's think. They've got obviously a very customized version of Firefox, and they're 110, so it's the newest Firefox. So they're definitely on newer packages, so not dated packages. So that's kind of a plus for them too, is they're using more modern packages and stuff too while they're doing that. Oh, I forgot to close out of that. Anyhow, that is basically Trom Jaro. But so one of the things that they did, like they in some of the menus, like check this out. Like, you can right click on this menu to make it more functional and move your whatever thing you want out of the system tray wherever you want on this panel. So you can want to move back, you click right click, move, boom, put it where you want it. I mean, that is pretty cool. And I'm gonna have to be honest with you, I'm a window manager user, so I don't use XFCE a lot, and that's what this one is. This is an XFCE layout that they've completely customized. It doesn't come in like KDE, GNOME, or anything like that. But anyhow, so I've never really played a lot with XFCE. I want to, and I think I'm going to dive into a distribution that has XFCE in it to kind of learn it a little bit more. I do know that when you right click on it, you got these drop down menus that happen and stuff like that. But I mean, it's really, really cool in that they've added that you can move that around. And so let's take a look at their desktop layout switcher, which is kind of cool. So you go to settings and you go to, let's just type in Trom. I'm sure it's there. Yep, Trom Jaro theme. Well, layout switcher right here. So this is what they've done. It's kind of like Zorin. Zorin OS does this as well. And basically, they've given you 6 different desktop layouts, which I think is kind of a nice tool. I mean, if you want a desktop, part of the reason why you want a desktop is because you want the customization ability. You want to be able to rice it outside of the ease of use for mainly clicking on a lot of stuff. I mean, with a window manager, it's basically more keyboard centric, whereas a desktop environment is more mouse centric. And so, that being said, with this, they got on the fly layouts that you can switch to, which is really, really nice. I mean, if if you like desktops and environments, then this is definitely a tool that I think should come with almost all desktops. I don't know how hard it is to create this tool, but obviously it's been created, so it can be done. But anyhow, so like right now, as you can see, I've got it in this Mac OS like layout, and I like how they say Mac OS like. They, in other words, they're trying to get it semblant to, but they're not trying to copy it exactly either, which is very nice. And then they've got a Windows like, and then they've got a MX like, and then they've got a Unity like, which is the default one, and then they've got a Top X like, and then they've got a GNOME like. So let's go ahead and switch to the GNOME like one. And so some of them are going to require your password because of the global menus that it uses and stuff like that. So, and as you can see, I've just switched to a GNOME like one. And so, like, you got your activities, your desktops over here. You got your clock in the center with your notifications. This is your notification bell, as you can see. Then you've got your system tray over here on the right hand side, which is expandable and collapsible with your hidden notifications like your clipboard and your internet activity. So there's that. And then you got over here, you got your little dock on the side with your power session in it, along with your application launchers. I mean, you can switch to it just that fast. Let's go back to settings. Let's try out another. Actually, you know what? Let me see. We can add it to the panel. So create the launcher just like that. So now check this out. I want to move it. I can move it. It. And so now it's not on my panel, it's actually my system tray. So I can do this just like this. So now let's see, we did GNOME like, let's try Windows like. And because it didn't use the global things, it just literally went to like that. So I didn't have to put in my password. Global menus. So I mean that's kind of cool in that aspect. Now, their color switcher, right? Their theme switcher, sorry. Okay, so this is their theme switcher, and as you can see, you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. You have 10 dark themes and then 10 light themes. That's how this thing kind of works. At first, it kind of confused me a little bit because what's the double thing? But what you're talking about is the accent color. The top one is the accent color to which it'll choose, and it's a dark default, green dark. Okay, this will be red dark. So like if I click on this one, was enabled. Now when you like open a thing, show you the file menu, the Thunar, you see how this accent color right here is green, right? Well, let's switch to red. It just switched it to red. Let's go to gray. It just switched it to gray. Let's go to this burnt orange. Look at that. Let's go to the black and purple. Black and purple's cool. Black and purple one. So, I mean, you can switch just like that. So you want to go to light, right? Just click on it. And you're going to go. So it's going to ask you whether you want to keep the panels dark or light. If you want to keep the panels dark, you can click dark. And then it'll switch everything but the panels. Just like that. So the panel at the bottom stayed dark, right? So let's go back to, I hate light themes. God, awful light themes. I don't believe that they should ever exist. But anyhow, so that's how you use the theme switcher. That is kind of a nice little thing that they did that's kind of cool. So, by the way, they use Thunar as their non-trade free file manager. And it's your standard typical Thunar, nothing different there. What the work has been done is actually a lot of work's been done into this distribution. A lot of it's been into the finite details of things, but for the most part, It's very, 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 very well done. Like their terminal also has been modified a lot. And let's find their terminal. Look, I mean, like the bash prompt. I mean, if you look right here, I mean, it's minimal. Everything is minimal. There's colorization done to it. I wonder if it has, you know, let's make it bigger. ZSH is the shell that we're in, and no, NeoFetch is not installed, so there's none of that. But like if you click here, this is their system resource. It's built right into the built right into their what you call it, their dock. And so we'll just make it bigger. I was trying to make it bigger in a window format, but nah, we'll just make it bigger. It has your system, your processor. It's got your RAM, how much of your system is being used. In memory, it's showing I'm using only 32%, no swap. I mean, and it's showing you your actual. What's cool is it's showing you things that are actually running right now that you can actually, if you want to kill, you can kill, like force quit. See, I mean, it's pretty doggone cool. What they've done, they've optimized a lot of things. They made it sleek, but yet performance wise, really good. Workflow wise, really good, and yet still minimal. Which is, like I said, I'm impressed. So, I mean, it's actually quite awesome. When you select the application launcher here, um, you can actually see that you've got your all applications, your favorites, recently used, your typical standard app launcher, where you got stuff you can, categorize that you can choose from. And accessories, they've got all the usual suspects and usual different things in here that you could do. For development, same thing. For graphics, all these apps that they have are actual like trade free, like screen recorder here, image viewer, all that stuff. Like the screen recorders, I think simple screen. Yeah, that's what it is. Simple, and then you could select what you want to record it as, MP4, whatever. I mean, it's pretty cool. Um, what they've curated for apps, for internet. I mean, the most important ones, they do have web apps here that you can create. Now, understand a lot of people web app think that when they use web apps and they create a web app out of a web page, that somehow they're making an actual application. What you're doing is you're containerizing that web page to look like an app. And so be aware that when you open a lot of apps in web apps, you're actually chewing up, like a browser does, a lot of RAM. So you're using up a lot of memory. So make sure that you are aware of that. If you do like web apps, I do use them once in a while. And the ones that I tend to make web apps out of are stuff that I use all the time, like YouTube, like Gmail, those kind of things. Web pages that you're constantly in all the time are ones that you could use for web apps because you're gonna have them open on your thing anyhow. And so instead of opening a browser, you can just open it up as an app, and that's kind of nice. They do have a torrent browser, and then they've got a messenger as well. So I mean, they've got really cool stuff, and they got Firefox obviously for multimedia. They have screen recorder, Shotcut I installed, and Shotcut is what's known as a trade-free video editing tool. I don't know if you've ever used it, but here it is. Normally, a lot of people use Caden Live. I actually use Caden Live, but I'm thinking about giving Shotcut a try. I kind of like the layout, and I've never used it. And sometimes I get bored with Caden Live, so I'm thinking about giving this a try. But either way, so there's that under gr- uh, multimedia graphics. For they've got the standard image viewer is what I meant to do, and then of course you got volume control, sound recorder, video player, which is a regular one, and then their webcam. Uh, Office, they have LibreOffice. That's what I thought it was, but they renamed it. That was weird. So I mean, they've got the full LibreOffice suite in here under Office. Um, they've just renamed a lot of it, but they've got this note program which is really really nice, which is the Featherlight notes, which is pretty cool. I mean, I've seen it before, but they've done like I said, they've renamed a lot. They've taken and put a lot of attention into the finer detail of things, and so it's really really nice. Like the word processors, Libre, Word, or not Word, Writer is Libre Writer. I mean, but they've just renamed it. I mean, it's just kind of like I said, they paid attention to the finite stuff. For other, you have Rofi, which is kind of cool. I don't know if many people know what Rofi is, but Rofi is a launcher, and it's like this, where you can type in, like, say, let's see, Thunar. No, such powder. Okay, I don't know why. But anyhow, that would be how you would launch, and it's usually found in window managers where you would use either that or dmenu. But at any instance, they have Rofi apparently installed on here under other things. For science stuff, they've got Formula Editor, which is I think the would be like Excel, the what you call it, LibreOffice Math is what it's called, and you can set up calculations and stuff like that in here. So kind of cool. For settings, of course, they got all your global settings. Like you can do your app launcher settings, apps menus, and categories editor. I mean, this is all your editing stuff, and this is where you find the layout switcher and also the oh look, they even installed for RGB light settings. So that's what I'm saying. They've done like XFCE and brought it. And it's not that it's not brought, but they paid attention to it and added all these non-trade free apps and stuff and settings into it that are more modernized. So, but made it really sleek looking. Where you can find the Trom Jaro layout switcher and the actual theme switcher. Uh, Under system, of course, is your standard like cron jobs, your remote desktop controls. You can switch users, USB flasher, system backup, your sensor viewer, which is they've even got that installed here, so you can pick out which sensors you want to look at, and it'll display them in a graph. I mean, it's just really what they've done is just created customized a really nice XFCE desktop and created it very nicely. So for the web, they have their trade free app and their VideoNet thing. Now, before we take a look at that, there's one thing I do want to show you that was kind of interesting. Now, I'm not aware if you could do this in XFCE or not, or if this is a Trom Jaro thing. Either way, it's pretty doggone cool. If you go to App Launcher, right, and you type in, say, image, right, so it's going to open up what you're looking for on your computer, right? But it's not on your computer what you're looking for. It's on the internet. You type in image and then say sunset. But you can't have it in this format right here. You got to collapse this and hit, which you can do it by either hitting the down arrow or the up arrow on your keyboard or clicking the little arrow like I just showed you there. So and you hit that and then you hit enter. And what it does is it opens up their Firefox browser and it scours the net for pictures of sunsets, and this is what pops up. You can literally search the web from that little search thing, which is kind of cool. Let's do that again, but let's do like so they have like for news, right? You type in news, right? So you got your RSS feeder, right? But you don't want it; it's not there. Whatever you're looking for, and then let's say COVID, right? Nah, Elon Musk, and hit enter. It's going to search the net and come up with news about Elon Musk. Elon Musk warns Ukraine. Elon Musk announces new Twitter feature, including encryption, DM responses, and emoji reactions. I mean, this is insane. I mean, this is really, really, really cool. I like I said, I don't know if that's an XFCE thing. And when I go into XFCE desktop environment that I'm going to download and try, I want to find out if this is something that they did specific to this, or if this is actually an XFCE thing and I just never knew about it. It just blew my mind. So there's that. Oh, you can do like EDU for education, and let's just say Galaxy. Oh, you got, see, I hit enter, nothing. But when I collapse it, I hit enter, away it goes. It becomes a search thing for the internet. And I think this is something about these people that they've done this. I'm not sure that that's an actual XFCE thing. But so here's this. I mean, this is really, 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 really cool. I mean, that is such a cool tool to have. You know, I mean, that is a cool tool to have. Another thing is they've curated their own trade-free apps. And that in of itself is really, really cool. And so they have their Trom, I want to say store, but it's not. Like Authenticator, Imagine, Articulate, right? Or the featured apps. But say you want to search, like, and let's search for like OBS, right? OBS Studio, Obsidian Icons, Praga, K-Stars. I mean, they've got all this stuff that would be the same thing, you know, that's related to OBS. So you just click on it. It opens it up, gives you an explanation of it. And you hit install. Give it your password. And it starts downloading it. Just like that. It's going to ask you which ones you want to choose. So we're going to put both of them in. We're going to hit choose, and now it's going to install it. And it pulled it from the AUR. So it uses the AUR already out of the box, which is really, really cool. So if you want to stay to trade-free specific programs, use their trade-free store. Otherwise, as soon as this is done, I will show you that you can go here, go to System, add or remove software, and this is your standard PAMAC. And as you can see, it's just like any old regular old PAMAC. You go into Preferences, give it your sudo password. You could see that they have parallel downloads already set to 6, which you can go to 10. They've got US mirrors or worldwide, you know, or you can choose mirrors from wherever you are. I mean, it is amazing. I mean, for like advanced, okay, it's got your all already customized for your third party. They've got AUR already enabled. Flat packs as well, as you can see, are maintained by the publisher, but it's already there. I mean, it's completely set up for you out of the box. All in all, I gotta tell you, I was really surprised. Like I said, I didn't really get it. I saw that Matt over at the Linux Tube had done this, and I was like, "What the heck is Trom Jaro?" But I never really watched this video yet. But what I when I got user requested, I was like, "Huh." And I've never heard of it before, so I was like, yeah, and I like doing these one-offs, and this is pretty awesome. The philosophy is pretty neat too, actually. I kind of like the philosophy because it's kind of stripping everything back. That it's trying to keep it simple by the appearance, but power packed and full of punch under the hood. Beautiful distro. You could switch on the fly layouts however you want. I mean, it's just amazing to me. I mean, it really is a distribution worth looking into. And I'd suggest it to new to Linux users. Let me know what you guys think. Tell me if you guys decide to use it. Comment down below. It is pleasantly surprising and very well done. This is a very, very, very well done respin, remux, whatever you want to call it, of Manjaro. You guys stay blessed. You guys keep doing what you guys do, and you guys keep on Linuxing. Have a great day. Hi guys. I'd like to say thanks for watching the video. It really means the world. But before we go, I'd like to thank my Patreons Brian Bomarito and Mislav Bresla. They help keep the lights on, and I really, really appreciate them. If you'd like to become a Patreon like them, visit me over at my Patreon page, the_Linux_tube. and help out if you can. Really appreciate you guys taking the time. Thank you so much. Have a great day.